Hello, fellow Auraxians. Welcome to your Advanced Training 2019 Christmas edition. Sorry, I was hoping to get a lot more videos done over Christmas break, but you know, the plans of mice and men and such. So, let me give you a rundown, a few reminders about Christmas, how to get the directive done, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the last patch and how the NSOps, how their buffs are making the way into the game, and the pros and cons of what they do for the game. Quick reminder, guys, Halloween is over. You can take your flaming skulls off. If you've been here for a while, you may have a 50% experience boost Christmas hat. Regardless, you should have a free one, and make sure you equip it to complete your directives for the Christmas event. I'm going to skip over the easy ones, just cover the ones that people might have a little more trouble with. First, Snowman Bodyguard. You'll notice what I did here is I found some bases where I could stay close to the spawn room, throw that snowman down, and then set up in a position where I had a lane where I was mostly 1v1 against the enemy. I generally was able to bait them into shooting me and my snowman, and was able to net all my snowman guardian kills. Things to note, the way this works is the enemy has to do damage to the snowman and then die. It can be you or your friendly that kills them. And I did not test it last year, but I am hearing reports that it still works, that you don't necessarily have to use the snowmen. You could just use the light barrier from the engineer. Collect those draw fire ribbons. They all contribute to the Auraximus event. I actually prefer the snowman because it's the full height of your character. It does have one major drawback though. It must be placed directly on the ground. There can't be any rocks above it. You can't be in a building. You can't be in a biolab. The only way you can place a snowman if it is directly on the most basic layer of terrain. So if you don't want to wait around for the right base where you can place them, you may just want to switch over to the hard light barrier. And the other slightly difficult one is the Sleigh Ride. Not that it's hard to run people over, although there's a little bit of an art to it. It's making sure you have the right cosmetic equipped. Now, if you've been here a while, you should have the holiday ribbon. You can see it here, or the golden snowman. I actually have two equipped right now. Either would work. You get the golden snowman by hunting down a golden snowman, similar to a pumpkin, but they're significantly more rare. And if you kill one, you immediately get the golden snowman hood ornament. That one's nice for doing this because you can actually equip it on your ant, unlike the holiday ribbon, which can't go on an ant. So you could get some cordium, go stealth, and run people over with the stealth ant if you have the golden snowman on. This here is not the golden version, but it is the generic snowman or the rockman. Find one of those that's completely gold and you'll get that cosmetic. Otherwise, guys, kill people with your hat on and revive people with your hat on, and you'll have that directive in no time. If you do get lucky enough to find a golden snowman, that will save you the hassle of getting the draw fire ribbons, because that can act as one of the 4 you need to complete the directive. I was hoping to report some additional double experience or like a code this year, but as far as I know, none have been released. In the past, they've done usually like a freebie weapon or something. If one pops up, I'll let you know right away, but so far there's nothing. The snowy biolabs are a fun little effect. I will say they do not play well with low settings. The floor is going to be flashing black at you the whole time you're trying to fight in a biolab. Okay, and then before we move on to NSOps, there's one last thing I want to say about the Christmas event. For the love of all things good and holy, do not release. Wait for the revive. I appreciate that you guys are all super based and don't care about your KDR, but some people are trying to farm revives for the directives. I can't tell you how many times this happened where I'm literally standing on a corpse. You can see the medic symbol on the minimap, and then they just go back to the spawn room. So guys, if you see a medic symbol running at you on the minimap, help those guys finish their directive. Wait the extra 2 seconds. It'll save you 10 seconds of running if you go back to the spawn room. Okay guys, that's it for your advanced training on Christmas. There's really not that much to cover. So I want to move on to NSOps and talk a little bit about them, their recent buff additions to the game. That's about all that's really happened lately. So that's about all I've got to talk about. The NS Defector is here with its suicide mode. That is one of its abilities you just saw kill me. This unit costs nanites and semi replaces the max as compared to other factions. Interesting to note, they can be revived when they self-detonate themselves. So that could be an interesting tactic if you throw a few of these guys charging in the room in front of you, ready to detonate, and then just revive them after you clear the room. I think the gun on this one is a bug, because they're really just supposed to be like the ones on the left where he's throwing grenades. So far, that's the only weapon option I'm aware of on them. These are not as tanky as a max, but the grenades are extremely powerful. So definitely be careful around them. They have adjusted the model since this footage was taken. There's now a bunch of antennas on their back, so they are separate from the regular NS characters. It's significantly easier to tell them apart now. The other ability they have is a shield that stops projectiles going in and out. Remember on this, the shield shares the health pool of the defector. So while I can see it have its uses while supported by an engineer, the shield really just makes the defector a massive target. Hit it anywhere and it does all the damage to the defector. And the other big thing that made it in is the Tempest. So far, I think it's balanced pretty well. It's definitely very much a glass cannon. Moves very fast, but in general, it is a single shot to take them out. I'm very happy with how they were kind of balanced and introduced to the game. They don't really change much. It kind of just feels like there's an additional flash running around that's really fast. So the patch didn't change a lot. The only problem I see with NSOps is the problem that's always been there, and that is that they don't balance the fights. Here you'll see an NS operative that's on the scoreboard, and the VS have 52% territory control, and they have a 4% bonus in population over the other two factions. And this isn't just a one-off thing, this is very common. If a player has a play session that's 1 to 2 hours, the faction that needs help will change, and the total world population of all the factions will change. But the faction the NS operatives are on don't change along with it. Here you see I just killed an NS operative stalker cloak on the point, yet the VS have 58% territory control and a 4% continent population bonus. So the annoying thing about them is they don't do what they were sort of posited to do, which is balance the map, balance the fights. They might as well be arbitrarily placed on any faction they log in, because placing them on the faction with the least population does not correlate to the faction that needs the most help. And even if the lowest pop faction was the one that needed help, 15 minutes later, it may be a completely different faction. And unless they are going to keep updating and shifting them around, the NS operatives are not achieving anything. Okay, fellow Auraxians, that's all for now. Again, I apologize I didn't get more out over Christmas, but I really enjoyed the time off, just relaxing and chilling. Gave me some good perspective on a lot of things, and gave me time to think about what's coming up for next year. I got a lot of exciting stuff on my mind, and I'm going to release that in a video. Goals for the next year. Those are longer term things, though. In the short term, I am still going to be doing the send-off for PlanetSide Arena. And don't worry, I am going to be bringing you your one and only PlanetSide Arena Advanced Training Guide. I think I'm going to release it on January 9th, so you will have 1 day to use that information. That training video for PlanetSide Arena will be the most futile training video in the history of YouTube. But anyways, at least for that 1 day that you play it afterwards, you will be a boss. And other stuff, guys. I'm going to branch out a little bit more next year. Don't worry. PlanetSide 2 content will always be there. That'll never go away. But there's some other stuff that I've been checking out. I've actually been asked to do a few videos on some other games. Going to bring those to you. And we'll talk about all of that in the new year. But that's it for now, fellow Auraxians. Until next time, I will see you PlanetSide.